all I do is run. If I don't know if I get it done.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and call this Laverne Parks and Rec Advisory Committee meeting, August 15th, 6 o'clock. We have a quorum. It's good to see a full house, and like I said, we call the meeting to order. We'll jump into old business and go right into music in the park. Just kind of, again, give us an update and how that went and numbers and when we're going to do it again.
I'm not sure what the numbers were. There were probably 70 to 80 people there. The numbers, I mean, the band was fantastic. Zone Status did a great job. The weather was pretty cooperative compared to what it has been here lately, but it was good. I thought it was really good. As far as having another one on the books, do we have anything on that yet, Julie, or are we still looking for a date?
Tentative.
Tentative? Okay. But yeah, it was really good. Everybody really seemed to enjoy it.
When you say tentative, are you talking this year or next
Oh,
spring? Okay.
yes.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal.
If we can find someone in budget.
We got a lot of stuff going on too coming up here, so it's going to squeeze it in somewhere.
Sure,
But
sure. You guys, anything music in the park?
No, I was there.
yeah, Bob was there.
Yes.
Pretty good, huh,
Thank
Bob?
you, too,
Yeah.
for everything you did.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Was he cooking hot dogs in 100-degree heat? Is that what he?
sure was.
Yeah, good deal. All right, we'll go into number 2, and it's been on here for a while, but seems to keep more and more coming to it. So let's get an update on the Veterans Memorial Wall and the Captain Coos Memorial.
Well, I mean, everybody pretty much knows where it is. I do have a couple issues. Is that something I need to address now, or is that's fine?
I would go ahead and, if you have an issue, what's the issue?
Yeah, I do. I have an issue with Facebook posts and people getting the wrong information. It's just out of control and making us look bad. I don't like that. That's not fair. Our department is way too small. I believe, Deb, you posted something about us not even taking the time to open the boxes. That came in on Thursday.
You didn't have time to open the boxes.
I know. I spoke with you on Thursday. The boxes came in, and that Friday we put the bench together. But to make it look like we don't want to do it, that was the twist that was put on it, and that's not fair.
I was trying to see if I could get people that maybe wanted to come with me and help me with your permission to see if we could open the boxes and put them together. All I got was negative responses from somebody, I guess it used to be on in your department or something.
That's another issue I have. Why you're discussing something with somebody who doesn't even work here anymore and left.
I wasn't discussing with her. She posted something negative on there.
Well, here's the thing. Either way, we're doing all we can do with what we have to do, and the box had just come in. Don't even give us a chance to not do anything before you say we're not doing anything, you know?
told me y'all were just too busy to
I
open
said
them.
it just came in
Well,
that day.
well,
That day.
Let's
So,
do this.
you know, what were we supposed to do when it just arrived by UPS? You know, we didn't have time to do anything to it when I talked to
You
you.
said y'all had a lot of things
We do.
on your plate, and I agree
Can I
you
give you
do.
guys just a brief rundown of what we do?
Yeah.
We're not only a Parks and Rec department, we are also a maintenance department, which encompasses 17 to 22 city buildings, not including the pump houses and the water houses. So anytime something goes wrong in this city, we're getting called for it. So whatever we're doing and a light goes out at City Hall, we're pulling our guys off of it to come fix that.
I understand that. Now, let me just make my point clear here. I posted on there, a lot of people been waiting for this stuff to come in and get ordered and get arrived. It finally got ordered, and I guess the bench arrived. We're still not sure if the plaque has arrived or not. Okay, I'm excited about it. I know a lot of people are excited about it that put a lot of work into this. And I did not say anything negative about you. I repeated pretty much what you said. You've got a lot, y'all are pretty busy, and you haven't had time to open the boxes. Somebody on here, I think, well, I don't know her personally, but she's been posting a lot of negative stuff about the city. She had something maybe to do with the ballpark games or baseball or softball or something, and she's got a sour taste in her mouth. And she posted something negative about your department. Under my post, she posted that they don't have time because they're always gossiping. Well, I know that's not true. I know from just being on the board. I know what y'all do. And I mean, I have no control over what somebody like that wants to post.
That's not even my real issue.
Let's do this. We've aired it. we got it out. I think probably, instead of making this into a negative, because it's a very positive thing, let's get an update on what's this time frame. Of course, we haven't got the plaque yet. Where are we at? What's the thoughts? We're going to have it ready by Veterans Day, by... I know you're busy, guys.
We were
and
wanting to do our plan, since this wasn't even a planned project or budgeted, either one, and we still don't have enough money for all the stuff that we're trying to do. We're still trying to get eagles and a couple more benches. The statue did come in. We have that. We have that, and we have the statue, or the bench that you had ordered, or that you wanted, and we're still waiting on the plaque. So right now, we're still in a holding pattern. Our idea was to do this and unveil everything on November the 11th, you know, so that we were gonna, you know, cover the statue and do an unveiling ceremony. And of course, the bench for Captain Coos will probably go in before that. But the other stuff, you know, that was our timeline on that, you know.
And I think that's fair, just so everyone knows now. They're not expecting it next week, next month. We're saying November 11th, and that's y'all's plan, and I'm certain y'all get it done. You know, again, I'm going to separate from any negativity and say this: the city's worked hard. Some volunteers have worked hard. That is a great start to our Veterans Park. Again, this time last year we did not have it, and I'm going to go and say to y'all, look, I've tried every meeting, because people don't know what you all do. People don't know that you're spread out from one end of the city to the next. And every event, you all, whether it's Parks and Rec, you all are you know, you're there. The workers are there, and that takes up your hours that you have with them.
I mean, regardless of the event, whether it's police or fire or whatever, every event starts and ends with us. We set everything up, and we have to clean everything up. So long after everybody's gone, patting each other on the back, we're still cleaning up messes. So, and I do get defensive for my department, because those guys bust their butts. And to have somebody say, well, they're not doing it, or they're not trying hard, or they could have got it done and they didn't, that's very offensive to me. And that didn't just mean me and David and Julie and Kathy and Laura. There's 5 guys that do all of the manual labor part and maintenance. And the maintenance is just insane when you have this much stuff to take care of, and these buildings are this old. And it gets under my skin. It makes me very upset that, you know, for them to be treated that way.
I'm behind you.
Well, I mean,
I appreciate it, Bob.
I understand your point, but understand my point. I didn't say anything against your department. I don't know this person. I don't know what kind of relationship they've had with your department. And I should have gone in there and maybe clicked report her and reported her for commenting on there, or asked her to remove it, but I don't know.
What you should have done is called me and said, hey, is it okay if we do this, and taken a different route rather than posting on Facebook. They don't even have time to open the boxes. That looks bad. It makes it look like it insinuates that we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing.
But here we are. We're here now.
That's my problem with it.
Sure. Well, we are here to clear the air. That look at, your guys are working morning till night. I see them out there daily. I've seen them for years doing it. I know how hard y'all work. So that part, let's clear that up, okay? Look at, I'm not going to get into what social media does. There's no one in this room that can control that, okay? Now, having said that, let's again, look at this and what this really is. This is a positive. And you know, I would hope that members of the board aren't posting anything negative. I would hope that Parks Department could know that maybe if 100 people post, maybe 99 are positive. Maybe 1 is going to be negative from here, you know. But here, this committee here works together. We have worked together. We've not always agreed on everything, but we've made some big strides in. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I understand both sides. There's a lot of excitement. They want it up. At the same time, you can't do everything that everyone wants right now. So again, I'm trying to make this into a positive, and we've aired it. We've discussed it. You know, let's work together and you continue to do some of the positives that we've done. But I guess you brought up a couple questions, and I'm sure the board has a couple questions. You said that there's still some things that need to be done, eagles and concrete work. What are we talking money-wise there, ballpark? I mean, now we've asked it, and it seems to fluctuate, find a better deal, or...
Well, it just depends on what you're looking at that day. We found a couple of eagles that I think the total price for both of them was $700. Now, that's if we go that way. You know, and I had seen those on Amazon. That's unfortunately the closest for quality. You know, we're not looking to put some concrete ones up there, and we don't want to put something big and gaudy up there. It has to be something that looks good and that we can secure properly so that it doesn't get tore up or knocked down. Also, me and David have been looking around for some other benches. The bench for Captain Coos is awesome. It's fantastic. But we'd have to come up with a little over $1,600 to do that. And we don't have that money right now. With what you put in there, we're not anywhere near that. So, and we did go ahead and order the statue, and we didn't have the funds for that. That's gonna have to be a reimbursement thing. So, I mean, I'm
What
hoping and I have
statue?
good faith that that will happen. You know, that was taken out of my budget.
She is,
What statue?
The battlefield cross,
Oh, with the boots?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
yes. But,
How much more is left owing on that?
well, it's paid for, but there's $5,000 that need to be reimbursed because that was taken out of our budget. And then we're still looking at building a 3x3 pedestal to put that on. And we found somebody, I think, that's gonna donate the granite to lay on top of it as a top piece for us to actually attach the statue to.
AC, are there any plans for, with old timers and everyone coming through the park, to have some sort of, I don't know what we can do, people offering donations or to buy bricks or to whatever?
Well, we're gonna have in
Do
the
we
city tent, they're gonna have also the brick forms as usual, and we're gonna push that, and you can definitely make donations there. We'd like to push that out there. Rachel and my department is working on stuff like that because she's reached out to several celebrities, and we're just hoping that one of them will get back with us.
One of the things that we brought up a year or so ago, have the letters ever been sent out, like the Bridgestones and the Ingrams, or even the various businesses, maybe for any kind of donations? Have we ever done that? Have we reached
I
out?
don't, I have contacted them by phone, but I don't think anything's been sent out unless Kathy did that before she left, which
Okay.
I wanna say she did, but I'm not positive. I don't wanna say, you know.
If
But
you give me a list of who you want to contact as far as businesses, I can do that in my spare time.
well, the big businesses in Laverne are Ajax Turner and Ingram and where's that you work? Bridgestone, yeah.
Did you
Those
have a
three,
contact person?
I don't have a contact person for them unless I had put one on my phone at one point, but, I don't know for sure, but I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard to find the contact person for that type thing.
I think to be safe, maybe it would probably be best for Rachel to write a letter.
Absolutely.
And send that out with the city letterhead and so on.
Pictures of what we've got so
And
far.
just where we're at and what we need. You know, we're making some big steps, but like you said, we're also incurring costs, so it may be a way to. like you said,
And that's the thing I'm saying too. If y'all look back where we were a year ago, this wasn't even something that we had planned for. And now, we didn't even have flagpoles. Now we got a flagpole, we got a wall, and we're slowly getting in that direction. And I realize people get impatient, but at the same time, I mean, I'm an impatient person too. But you can only go as fast as you can go with resources and money and help, and you know, and then you got a ton of people going, "Oh, we will jump in there and we'll help do that," and then they never show up. You know, so.
Well, I will help, I
That's-
can open boxes, and I know I've got tools, I can put things together.
Here's the thing,
So
opening the boxes are the least of our worries, but you gotta put them together and get them out there, and you gotta get your measurements and pour your concrete, so, I mean,
can pour concrete.
well,
But do we have enough money left over that I donated? Is there enough money to buy the material for that pad that you need for the bench?
we're gonna have to go and see. Like I said, we've been running wide open, and there was a little over 200, I think, that was left in there when you put, and when David and I talked to Phyllis the other day, there was only 300 in there then, so there should be enough to get. We're gonna have to make sure that we don't get the monies mixed up, because,
I know it. I've got
so,
an exact
we'll make
figure,
sure, we'll
but-
see, and if there's any more need for anything, I'll let you know, but, until we can do that, and now we got a project at City Hall too, that's gonna be a pretty big thing. We're moving 5 different people in here because we're trying to make room for the new city administrator, so 5 offices are getting shuffled around, so it's quite a bit of stuff going on, but, you know, we gotta try to squeeze it in there where we can.
What all is needed besides, what kind of stuff do you need for that pad? Do you need concrete mix? Do you need something that pours it? Do you need gravel?
It's,
form?
that's stuff that we can get from Lowe's. It's just form boards and concrete. Bags of what, Quikrete will do it. It's just a matter of going over there and getting it and starting it. Because once you start it, you gotta finish it. You gotta form it up, and then the ground has to be prepped for it as well, so.
Do you have the equipment to actually pour the stuff
Yes,
in once
we
it's
do.
mixed?
That's something that we can
So basically, it's the
do.
material.
Yeah,
the
yeah, we gotta go
material.
get the material.
And if we could get someone that could donate a little bit of time that knows how to do that, would that be something they would be allowed to do?
If you know somebody that can pour that pad for us and come over there and form it and pour it, put them in contact with me.
Okay, how much, have you decided whether we can do it on the right side of the sidewalk?
We're
or
gonna do it
does
on the right
need to be
side.
moved to the middle?
No, we're gonna do it on the right side,
You
the
do
middle.
think there is room there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I will do what I can to help you. Don't get me wrong there. I am impatient. I've always been impatient, and I apologize if that offended you. But
Well, that's not,
we're excited
impatient
about
doesn't
it.
offend me. It's insinuation that offends me. That's what I didn't like. So, I mean, I've said my piece. We can go on and move from there. It's done. I'm sticking up for my department because, I mean, from the outside
Well,
looking
I have
in,
no idea
y'all have
whether
no
y'all-
idea
I
from the
have no
outside looking
idea
in.
what y'all do in the office or if you gossip.
You don't.
And
That's
I mean,
why
the
I'm so
lady,
mad
I
about
don't
it.
know who she is. I don't know if she's been in your office or what, but I've never been in your office. So I don't know where she was getting that, other than
Mm-hmm.
I have seen her name and I know she has sour grapes.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be where it's coming from.
Again, this is what I'm gonna do. I like to think this is a positive committee, and it has been, and this is a positive project, and I'm gonna move past this. We've aired it. We're not gonna go back into what someone insinuated or didn't insinuate. You know, again, I'm putting a positive spin on this because it is positive. You can't drive by there without, again, knowing what was there and what's there now, and not.
That's the way we
have
try
a
to
lot
look
of
at it.
pride. So, again, we've all worked hard on it, but again, we've got to come back together, and I'm not going to allow any more negativity. I'm sorry, as far as that goes. We're going to stay positive because this is a positive project here. If anyone else has anything they'd like to add,
Yeah, I do. I have some really good ideas. When I went home to Michigan, I visited a Veterans Memorial Park in a very poor city, and it is beautiful. I wish I had time. I hadn't thought about it to make some pictures, and they did this all on grants and donations. To even the park bench were they had beautiful marble park benches, and I'd like to sit down and show you sometime and get the pictures printed. And this is something you couldn't do today. This is something that planned in the future. But this was, like I said, everything was done on sponsorship, whether they wanted to buy the bench, and the bench exclusively had a golden engraved that this was donated. It's kind of like the bricks, but it was engraved in the bench. And the prices I thought were high, but for this being one of the poorest cities within the state, they still received donations to help pay for this. It didn't come out of their parks budget. It didn't come out of their city budget. This was all on donations and, like I said, grants when I asked them about it, because I was really intrigued to want to learn more money. And I think with the industry, and I know this from my working with the chamber, that we have a lot of large industry within the city of Laverne, that we need to start asking, and I know that Bridgestone is very supportive of different projects, that if we, to me, the key is putting together sponsorship packages, and that's somewhat easy to do. I don't think we limit ourselves just to 2 or 3. I think we put this out on the internet and come up with a feasible plan. Sit down, maybe have a committee working on this, because it's always better to have more than one person to get different ideas, because everyone has different views and ideas or input to add. And then maybe think of maybe some long-term. We cannot build this. This is a dream and a want for a long time, and I think it's going to take a long time. This park I went and visited, it did take them a long time to build this, so our expectations have to be realistic, and I think it's just nice to see that wall at this point. And I think in moving forward, it's just that sitting down and planning. What do we want to do? What's the vision for the future? And that's, I think, what we need to discuss here in the future. What type of visions do we have? How do we want to add on? And how are we going to pay? Because we all know that there's a cost in maintenance, so just some things to think out for the future. And I'm willing to help on any of the sponsorship. I have a lot of business contacts within the community, and I have a lot of experience with trying to raise funds within the community. And I'd be willing to help Rachel or whomever. I would be willing to help on that, 'cause I actually like doing that type of things myself. So,
Did anybody go to the Rotary last year? Because last year, that was their theme, was helping veterans. You might approach the Smyrna Laverne Rotary.
Good
I
idea.
would highly suggest that. You know, they're doing their
Somebody-
big fish fry, and, I mean, I have several
Somebody called
contacts in
me
that.
wanting to, actually, they were wanting our money,
Well,
that
it's
we're doing a project, but they, I've got their numbers somewhere. I didn't know they would help us too. I think they were just wanting,
Well, there's a Laverne.
This is Smyrna / Laverne. This is, they're
Okay.
dual. It's not just Smyrna. Smyrna's doing their own thing. They've got that up and running. That doesn't, you know, these are two separate entities.
who is
This
over,
group is both.
I didn't mean to interrupt, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, you're cool.
Who is the, I think it changes every year, but who's the president, or who is the, do we know who's over Rotary right now?
It used to
I was gonna say,
be,
I can
I know
find
Dr.
out.
Patel was for a little bit, Dr. Patel here in Laverne. And then William from Regions Bank, I don't know if his term is up, but he is the last one that I knew that was the president, but they do change.
I think every year. Yeah,
That's what I think
so-
too.
I'll find out for you. I mean, it's
Okay.
literally.
Well, that may be just someone. I agree with what you're saying. We turn over every stone, and look, even if, yeah, I'm just throw this out here again, old timers got, I think a couple years ago, we estimated 8,000 to 10,000 people, whether that's the number we get coming up, but if 20% of them drop in $1 or $5 or whatever, you know, it could certainly help you all, and it may open some doors that aren't open right now, so.
and we have that group that contacted me too, that wanted me to see how all this went, you know, make sure we got it approved and stuff like that, and see if it's smooth, that was interested in offering some free help for, you know, like putting in like a garden, a flower garden around the memorial and stuff. But I don't know who to ask to see if we can do that, see if y'all would let us do that.
Absolutely.
if
I
we
mean,
need-
if you gotta start talking about it at some point. Just bring them, give me the contact or have them call me or whatever, and then we'll set it up and make the moves from there. I mean, that's not an issue right there. As far as somebody volunteering to come out and do something like that, we can do that. They can, you know, just as long as we know about it and it's something that's, you know, there's structure to, we can do that.
Okay, so it's okay to ask them to contact
Yeah, just
you
put them in
and-
contact with me, yeah.
Okay.
And we'll
'Cause
go
they-
from there.
They were talking about gardens and getting money for other features that we needed and things like that.
That's great.
And I know everybody was so busy, nobody ever had time to tell me if that's something we were gonna go forward with or not, or if that's something we have to go before the mayor, alderman for.
Well, things like that need to be approved, but it's got to start somewhere. So after I gather some information, then I can go before the board of mayor and aldermen and go, this is what they're willing to do, you know, with your permission. And it goes from there.
Excuse me, there is now, because I had recently asked Cheryl, because I noticed it on the city website, if you go under the employment page, there is now a volunteer application. And that, you might want to get with Cheryl and see, because that might be something where some of this could fall right under. But there is a application process for any volunteers that want to volunteer within the city, so that might be something you want to check with Cheryl and see if that would fall under that.
I think what they were planning on doing is they said they have a group of veterans in different cities that would go in and take care of this. So
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's the same volunteers all the time or if it's something that rotates.
I think the thing to do is, like AC said, get them in contact and see if they can get the ball rolling there.
Yep, put it on the agenda.
All right, guys, anything further for Veterans Memorial? All right, move into new business, and I believe it's coming up, is it this weekend?
This
Okay,
Friday.
This Friday, Movie in the Park.
Movie in the park, we're gonna show Zootopia, and of course it is free. It'll be on the football field like last year. So we suggest a blanket or a chair. We will have some concessions. I know the senior center is gonna be doing, cotton candy and barbecue sandwiches.
Yep.
And I believe banana pudding too.
And cookies and ice cream.
And cookies and ice cream. And then we do have a shaved ice coming, and then, so look forward to it.
Did y'all reach out to the schools again and get that out there? Good. I guess I have to ask this question. What's the weather looking like Friday?
It'll be fine.
I heard that before.
You're gonna be fine, that's all I know.
Okay.
I was in, we were at that park Saturday for ball practice, and there were signs up that said movies in the park, or movie in the park. Was that
That was a church organization that did it this past weekend. I had talked to her about it. I don't know if they got rained out or not. I know it started raining about dark. Yeah, so anyway, but that was a church out of Antioch. She had been contacting me, and it was free, and I think they were showing God's Not Dead too, and it was a really good community thing, and we couldn't advertise it as a city event because it wasn't a city event, but we let her use the front of the park, so.
Well, I know, I think I have the date wrong for movies. in
Yeah.
the-
Well, actually, she was supposed to do it, 2 weeks ago? And the rain scared them off, so.
Well, I'm excited for the Zootopia because the last one that I went to, I think it was Old Timers Festival the day
It was
before.
the day before.
That was a hit for the
Yeah, it was.
community. I
That's
could
good.
not believe how many people were
It
there,
was a
so.
good
It was
turnout.
crowded.
Yes.
And y'all did it in the winter last year, a little drive-in. Are we got that planned again this year, or no?
We don't have anything planned for it yet. It was okay. We're gonna have to work on our concession area, because being all the way up to Pavilion A, it was kind of a long walk from the front or the parking area. So I don't know. I mean, we had a pretty good crowd though, so it's not something I'm opposed to. We can do that again. We just don't have anything on the books yet.
All right.
I did not make it to the drive-in, but, as for concessions, what about like some of the food trucks, some of the food vendors? That might be something practical if it's gonna be a long distance.
Yeah. And next time, I think, and it's too much work for us really to bring in, for us to do all of it ourselves, you know, we'll have to bring in some outside vendors to do it.
I know, I just thought of something. I went by music at the park in Smyrna, drove by it. They have vendors sitting out all the way along, right? I mean, y'all, I'm sure you checked that out, so that's, I'm certain that's something possible we could work out.
Yeah.
So, all right.
I just saw in the news where, I think it was in Murfreesboro, I had the news on in the background. I think what they were saying, there's a lot of vendor trucks that are wanting to come in down there, and they're worried about it affecting the brick and mortar restaurants and stuff like that, and they were looking to approve it. So maybe that's a possibility because they're apparently looking for places to go.
Yeah, and a lot of them will come in, and we just have to be careful not to get a lot of the same ones battling each other with what they sell. And some of them, you know, the prices are, you know, out of range for, you know, what we're trying to do. And you got to shop around, you really do, because some of them are really expensive.
Don't we have a local vendor food truck here in Laverne?
I think we have
We
several.
have several.
We do? What do they sell?
Everything. I've seen ice cream,
Fish,
fish,
fried fish.
soul fruit. I've seen some
Barbecue
taco
ribs.
burrito trucks.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone's seen those. I mean,
That's
just
a good variety. Why not just ask them to show up?
We do at certain events.
And a lot of times too, they may be booked for something else, or they won't be available, and, you know, but, yeah, we always reach out to them, but we'll have some.
all right. Let's move into number 2, and I believe that's the following weekend, right?
Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day
Yeah.
weekend. The run is Friday night. Is that correct? And then, the tournament starts Friday, or is it Saturday, Sunday?
Tournament starts Saturday.
Saturday, yeah.
Okay, just a background, years ago, Taylor Filarimo, 4 or 5 years old, started playing here in Laverne. She was diagnosed with the rare form of cancer, fought it probably stronger than I know I could, and most people could. And anyway, local family, they picked up the foundation, it was a pray for Tay, and then it went into play for Tay. And I mean, sometimes I'm 50, 80 miles away, and I see their little stickers on the back of cars. So it's really grown. But Laverne, Smyrna, and Murfreesboro is hosting them this year as far as their softball.
Just about
tournament.
every complex in all 3 cities will be taken up for that. It's gonna be enormous, and it's getting bigger every year.
Good deal. And how about, is the run, is that actually right through the foundation, or do they register at parks, or can they register at parks?
Actually, that's a police department
Police department
thing,
deal?
but, I mean, we have it here at the park, but yeah, you can register through, I think, PD, and there's a website I think you can also go
Okay,
to.
okay.
What night is the run?
That's on the Friday night
Friday
before
night.
the tournament.
And Box will help. We're gonna be there to help.
This Friday?
No,
No.
Friday before Labor Day, which is, we have the date on that, guys? Second, is it?
Second, yeah, I think so.
Second.
Yeah, it's Monday.
What day is Old Timers Day on?
Old Timers, is that the 7th?
17th.
Yeah,
September
17th.
17th?
And that's a good segue. We'll jump into Old Timers. I'm sure you guys are gearing up for everything right now, and we've got all our entertainment. Our carnival is,
Carnival, we had a conference call with the carnival guy the other day. Randolph sat in on it, and Rachel was in, myself, David, and Julie, and who?
Miss Felicia.
Oh, yeah, Felicia was there too, because we're gonna man the ticket booth this year. Good about the carnival is they're actually bringing their own ATM, so that kind of helps us out too. So it's the same carnival that sets up in Smyrna next to the bowling alley, and I've heard nothing but wonderful things about it. So he's gonna come, he's gonna bring a lot of kids' rides and kind of get a feel for it, and he's gonna get back with us and let us know if he can bring some bigger rides, and then seeing how it goes, then hopefully we can get a relationship going with him and maybe have him, you know, in the spring too at some point. But he's gonna come in, I think he said he's gonna start coming in on Sunday, and they're gonna play on, or they're gonna open it Wednesday and go through Saturday night, and then move out on Sunday, so.
they'll be all totally out by
That's
Sunday.
what he said. I'm a
We
little
haven't-
bit leery because sometimes carnivals stay longer than they should, but hopefully, you know, it won't be taking up too much space.
I remember one of our first years, I think they still had their equipment up there 2 weeks later.
Like a month. It was-
Yeah.
I mean, there
Wow.
was some pieces still left there, yeah.
Wow.
That was bad.
Well,
They
good.
stay crowded in Smyrna, that carnival.
Yeah, is that the one right next to the bowling alley?
Yep, that's it.
They stay packed. I've taken my nieces down there over the years, and they
And the owner's a really nice guy. Bob
always
Howell.
have a good
He owns it,
crowd, and
Julie?
it's a nice
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Now, tell us about, again, the entertainment and at the pageant. Let's get a little plug in for the pageant. And,
Well, that's more you. I don't know too much about the
Well, the
pageant part.
pageant is actually Montique and Rachel's heading the pageant.
I actually
Okay.
work on the
And
committee,
Miss Deb.
and
Yeah.
this past week, we've been really working very diligently to line some things up.
They're gonna do that at Laverne again, at the high
At
school?
the high
Okay.
school. The pageant's gonna be August 27th. There will be a dress rehearsal for those that have signed up, not on the baby side, but on the Little Miss, Young Miss, and Miss Laverne. There will be a dress rehearsal. We'll have dinner. So the pageant's growing. We've already worked on getting donations for our food, and we pretty much have that all tied down. We do have a very big need, and that is we need our high schoolers to sign up for this pageant. Without them, we can't have a pageant, and as of today, we don't have any at the high school age level. Now, some of the problem we think is because school just started and they couldn't get any of that out to the schools until last week. So what we've seen in the past, the previous experience at the high school level, that it's been a lot of last minute. So friends, neighbors, we need to be talking this up. We have applications sitting out here. If you know anyone, I've got them sitting out here on the credenza. Grab
Well,
some.
we're gonna grab a handful to take. We got any at the park, Julie? We'll take some and put them in the lobby up there.
Got any
Yeah.
in the lobby or not, but we'll get
We're
some.
doing pretty good on the baby. The babies tends to be the most popular, and I think they'll grow with the pageant because we see a lot of repeat.
How many do you need?
For the older age, we haven't had one girl sign
I know,
up.
but how many do you need at the minimum?
Hey, it's 3 or 4.
I think we had, I
That's
think
what I'm trying to
6 or
remember.
7 was the fewest that we had over, and at one time, we had even more than that. I think we had 9 to 12 at the high school level, so.
And they have to be from Laverne?
No, not,
Live in Laverne, go to school in Laverne, employees of children of employees of Laverne. Did I hit everything there?
yeah, so, and also if they're in a feeder school of say for instance residents and they go to a magnet school, so that would apply to Central Magnet, Thurman Francis, and help me with all the magnet schools,
About
how many magnet
homeschool
schools?
children.
Any resident.
Any resident,
Any
uh-huh,
resident,
yeah, that, any resident, and then, let's see, I'm trying to think.
Stewart's Creek,
Stewart's Creek,
Stewartsboro,
Stewart, because we have kids now that since they changed the,
Lions,
Yes.
District Lions.
yeah, so that opens it up to those, it's opened up to all the people in that school. So it's, you might be able to explain that better. I think in the fairness, when they were first deciding this, that they allow the school, if they're part of the Laverne school.
Yeah, if they're in the, if they are in the Laverne, where Laverne children go to school, basically, is what you're saying, where the
Yes,
lines are
yes,
drawn. Again, for example, Stewart's Creek High School, they have 40, 60% Laverne, Smyrna children. You know, so I believe those are, they're eligible. Now, a question I have for you, and I think I asked last month or month before, are you accepting donations on dresses and things along
Oh,
those lines?
absolutely. I think Rachel last week put something on the city page. We are accepting donations for dresses from the little baby show on up to the high school. If there is a need within the community and a girl wants to participate, we have some really beautiful dresses. We went through them last week, and some really pretty dresses of all ages. So if there's a need, we have dresses. All they have to do is come up here during city hours, and we can direct them at the front desk too. But there are definitely, there's quite a few dresses up here, so.
You talked about paper apps, but you have an app online too, right? You can sign up online.
You can sign up through, there will be a tab on the city website, laverne10.gov, and it has the Miss Laverne and then the baby pageant applications in there also. Also, we're also seeking any further sponsorships. This year we've changed up a few things, and we're hoping in the future to turn this to provide some scholarship to the Miss Laverne. We might be close this year. There's no promises. We just have to finish up with the sponsorship. And if there is enough left over, this might be the first year. So we really need these girls, because we went out and went and talked to a lot of businesses and put together some sponsorship information. And it would be really nice, hopefully, to maybe this year. If not this year, we're hoping by next year. But there's a good chance if all these sponsors that said they're going to follow through do that. So.
It'd be good to know that as soon as possible, because that may get you some of your high school if they're going to pick up so many dollars towards a college or.
Yes.
What's the application fee?
For the baby show, the application fee is $20, and for the young Miss, Little Miss, and Miss Laverne, it's $25. So it's a male fee. You can also seek out a sponsor or business to sponsor that. I know that there's been girls in the past that participated that had sought out sponsors in the community that even bought their dresses, paid for their fees. So if there's a need, I would just suggest them to call up here to speak with Rachel or Montique, and you never know, because I'm sure those other girls didn't know that they had a sponsor. So sometimes if we find out there's a need, there's a lot of good people in Laverne that will step up and help with those needs. So.
All right.
Also, I did want to make sure that we have Miss America. She was crowned Miss America 1982. That is going to come Friday to our dress rehearsal. Work with the girls and mentor them, show them how to walk, and she will be there all evening to. Which that's going to be a really, really nice thing. Not everyone gets to meet a previous Miss America, so that's kind of exciting and nice that she's willing to participate and be there to support our pageant.
She was there last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think she
Sounds
was
like
in,
exciting things.
yeah, I think last year she was a judge, but this year she's going to be a mentor, and
What's her name?
Deborah Moffett.
All right. Well, we plugged the pageant, and I'm sorry I jumped over the entertainment, but where we, again, what's kind of the schedule we got going? We got some local bands, and then who's the big act, or is there multiple big acts, or?
Well, we didn't go with a big act like the
Sure.
Willis Clan, but we have a couple of known acts. I think Zone Status is going to be one of them. We're going to give them another try. They did really good at music in the park, though. They were great. So they're going to come back. We're going to finish up the entertainment portion with Mike Oldham. He did over by the Pavilion A last year by himself with his guitar, and he was fantastic. We got nothing but great feedback from him. The mayor really likes him. And he is going to bring with him several Grand Ole Opry pickers. That's going to be a really big deal. There's going to be like 10 or 11 of them, I think he said, something like that, wasn't it? It was
Several.
yeah, he said several. So that should be really, really entertaining. So he's going to bring him, and of course we got Missy Garnett coming back, and Wildfire, who we've had before. Who else we got doing? I can't think of them all.
Threw me out there.
Yeah.
Missy Garnett, Wildfire, Mike Oldham, Zone Status. Ooh, we're missing, who's the other one?
Is that Animal Guy?
Well, we will have our animal.
Yeah, Animal Guy's going to come back too as well. He'll do a couple
right,
shows.
2 shows.
But yeah, it's a pretty good lineup. It looks good.
Are the Corlears going to open?
Yes,
Okay.
we will definitely invite them to open, yes.
And something we've talked about a bunch of years, but Laverne Band, are they already booked? Is there a football game that weekend, or are they going to be involved in anything?
They
or?
usually join our parade.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add in about Old Timers? Parade, you still taking applicants for the parade,
Oh,
I imagine?
absolutely. Parade, sponsorships, crafters.
Okay.
We do have the political application this year, so absolutely. Definitely give us a call or look online for an application.
Okay.
And also with our theme being Hometown Heroes, a matter of fact, I went down and finally got to talk to Mr. Vinny today at the senior center. Our grand marshals are going to be senior veterans. So senior center will do a float, and we'll have any veteran that wants to ride the float that's a senior citizen ride that float. So I went and talked to Mr. Vinny. He spoke at our last Veterans Day event, and he was just thrilled to death. So
Good.
I think, how old is Mr. Vinny, 92 or 93? Yeah, we were actually celebrating Miss Jane Vale's birthday today, and she's 101.
101.
Yeah, so.
Amazing.
And I've also, Montique and I have been going out looking for the sponsorships for the pageant. We've had a couple interested in the festival also, and we're going to be following up this week. I'm going to take them and then give them your info.
Please do.
So
Yes.
there were several, and also some possible food donations. We won't know yet. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let them know, or you can give me their contact. I can reach out however you want to do it.
All right. I will definitely so, because they were asking, some of them didn't know about Old Timers Festival, and they took an interest, and
Good.
All right.
Farmers market's still doing good.
Yes, it is doing really good. And Rachel is really helping out a lot with that. She's really bringing a lot to it. Last week, we had a pie baking contest. Deborah was a lucky recipient to be a judge.
it was so much fun.
I had to find a judge at the last minute, and I had to go and get her and Gloria, and then another lady from the farmer's market, one of the vendors, she was a judge as well. So they got to judge between 4 pies, and then Donna put together a little makeshift assembly line for pies. She had graham crackers out there, and the kids were able to grind up their own crust and put it in, and either use pudding or yogurt, and then put toppings like bananas or strawberries or something on it, and then whipped cream, and they really seemed to like that. That was a big turnout too. So, but it was pretty good. She's always coming up with some good ideas, and we got a little thing coming up here in the next couple of weeks where we're going to have some celebrity weathermen come out, and her husband being one of them, and we're going to do a grill off. So we're going to use the meat that one of the vendors has, and we'll do a cook off, and so for bragging rights, and just to
What are they
add a
gonna
little
be
something to it.
cooking?
Huh?
What will they be cooking?
I don't know. They're going to be cooking at least hamburgers and hot dogs, and maybe some kielbasa or sausage or something like that.
I've got
Well, if
to
you
make
need any
sure I get that
volunteers to
schedule.
test the food, you know where to find me.
I'm not walking past Joanne again to come get you. I'm already pushing my luck. So
One thing I've noticed about Tuesdays is another day that we always seem to get a thunderstorm pop up.
every
lately.
Tuesday.
So let's hope that changes. I guess we'll jump into just any of y'all's staff comments or updates. I know we You spoke last month about receiving the baseball grant. Is there anything new pending? Is there anything?
Well, we're waiting on, since y'all approved that, we're still waiting on the final paperwork to come through, and then the mayor has to sign off on that, and then Kathy has been working on a big list of all the stuff that we need to get from, we've been dealing with Play It Again Sports. They've been really good, and I guess he might be doing a little stockpiling, getting ready for when we finally get the okay to go ahead and do that, so. But
What else? I know you have a bunch of things coming up. What did we miss, or what do you want to add here as far as anything? Or did we touch on everything pretty
All
much?
ball's getting ready to start.
Yeah.
Football starts probably not this weekend, but the following week. Before you know it, it'll be trail of treats at the end of
Yeah.
October.
yeah, they're already selling Halloween candy in stores, so.
Are they doing anything for 9/11?
What?
September 11th, are they doing anything?
The county does. We have not, but the county has done.
Right.
We don't do
We don't have
anything at
anything
all?
lined up for it right now.
Us, even with the park memorial being there now?
In November, we're planning on doing the like Veterans Day thing, but, I don't know, we haven't put anything together for it, so. I mean, it's not something, I'm not opposed to it, but,
Well, in the past, us as a city have gotten together and
Yeah.
gathered around the gazebo or
yeah,
meet in
it's just
the
a small ceremony
very
thing.
personal, like,
Yeah.
intimate kind of setting, so each maybe tell their stories of where they were.
And I believe
what happened.
we've sent a city group down to the county, I believe, when they've done their
Okay.
their memorial, so. All right, guys, anything further?
I got your president for you, by the way. It's John Black,
John Black. John Black from the airport.
I believe
from the
so.
airport.
I can
Okay.
get his number if you guys want it.
All right. Yeah, if you'd forward to me, I'll make sure that we get it to Rachel.
I will be more than happy to
Thank you so
forward to
much.
that. Yeah, no
Thanks for
problem.
looking up. Guys, next meeting, September 19th, it will be a workshop. It'll be the Monday after Old Timers, so I'm sure everyone will be bright-eyed, bushy-tailed that day. But, all right, guys, having said that, I appreciate all of you. Appreciate the department, and we do know how hard that you do work, and we thank you for everything that you do. Having said that, we'll adjourn the meeting.